So today I want to talk about if buying EV instead of diesel or petrol car is still will still be better off after planned changes with vehicle tax, with tax per mile, 3 pence per mile that they planned for 2028, April 2028. So in 2 years, right? Recently it was a lot of talking about this. Rachel Reeves was saying again that it's planned that it will be in 2028 April. I'm not so sure about this because there will be elections around this time, so I think half year later, so it means they will have to fight for votes. So with most people on EVs, I don't know if it will happen. On the other hand, it should probably happen because we all have to pay for the roads, right? We have to, if for diesel cars and petrol cars, it goes from fuel duty. So if EVs are charging from electricity, and most of them at home, then obviously there is no tax on it. Government has to take money from somewhere. So even if I am EV user, I understand it's thing that should happen. So okay, my girlfriend has Astra GTC in diesel, old car, 2013, and we planning to replace it with EV. So there are two options. We buy EV before April, with first registration before April 2017. That would mean that the tax for this car, road tax, would be £20, like on this leaf that I have, £20 a year. If it will be after April 2017, the tax will be £200 at the moment, probably more in 2028, but let's go with this £200. That's what we know at the moment. We are planning to buy something with bigger range, and we don't want BMW i3 that is with this smaller tax possible. I just don't see BMW. I don't know yet, it's not decided, but I would like something more efficient. Actually, I exactly would want Hyundai Ioniq, and they started in late 2017, so tax £200, right? So okay, tax £200. In the Astra, tax is last year it was £165, I think. Then we have charging and fuel costs. Astra is quite efficient diesel car. She drives mostly on motorway, so as well it's good for diesel. It's cheap to drive like that. She's not driving quick, so the average is, I think, 6.5 liter of diesel per 100 kilometers. It is 45 miles per gallon, or even almost 50 miles per gallon, so it's fucking cheap. Sorry. So she drove last year around 7,000 miles, which meant that she spent in full 2025 £1,100, roughly, more or less, like £50, £1,100 for diesel for last year, right? Plus road tax was 165, so we have 1,250, yeah, for the Astra. Now we go replace it with this Hyundai Ioniq. They are very efficient. The battery will be only small, probably the first gen, so it's 28 kilowatt hours battery, but they are so efficient that they make a lot of range. I think it's like 180 miles WLTP, so obviously it's less, so let's say it will be 140. It's still much more than Leaf, so we can go for further travel if we need. We don't need really. It's mostly about that we have one charger at home, and I don't want to charge both cars on the same day. Would be perfect to charge one car every day and the other car just on the weekends. And I think it will be possible with Ioniq. So that's why, you know, this range mostly. So I assume consumption will be 4 miles per kilowatt hour. In this Leaf, I don't use eco. I use heating and air conditioning wherever I want. I just don't care about all of that because I charge every day anyway. So my consumption is quite high. I think it's around 3.2 miles per kilowatt hour. So it's not much. It could be much better. And with those Ionics, what I've read, what I understand, they are very efficient, even 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour. We go in safely 4 miles per kilowatt hour, right? She will be driving mostly motorways, so let's go a little bit less than that. Charging cost, 3.5 pence per kilowatt hour. That's what our charging cost at the moment. That's our tariff. We assume it will be like that. Obviously, till 2028, my fixed tariff will end, but we are comparing at the moment how it is, right? And even not at the moment, because now diesel prices are crazy high because of the war in Iran. So we're comparing with prices from last year. But that's the details that I have, and hopefully it will help someone. I know it helped me to make decision. And so yeah, 3.5. So energy needed would be 1,750 kilowatt hours a year. So it means it's 61 pounds a year for energy to drive this car for 7,000 miles. Yeah. So 61 pounds. Then we have road tax, 200 pounds. So we have 261 pounds. And then we have pay per mile tax, 3 pence per mile. 7,000 miles per and 3 pence per mile, it will be 210 pounds. So we have together 210 pounds for pay per mile, 200 pounds for road tax, and 61 pounds for energy. So we have 471 pounds for driving for a year without assuming insurance. For a year, insurance group is exactly same for both of those cars, so it's all right. 17E. So 471 pounds for a year for Ioniq, and 1,265. So let's say 1,270 and 470. So we have 700 pounds cheaper a year. We could go with older car with smaller range, but like I said, those 200 pounds in the grand scheme doesn't matter. Car will be much more modern. That date apparently isn't supposed to change. They won't change this date, and it will be all the cars soon on the roads 200 pounds minimum for the EVs. So yeah, so we have 700 pounds savings a year changing this car. And yeah, and I think that's why we're gonna replace the car soon. Hopefully we will get around 3,000 for Astra, and put another 3,000, no loans, no nothing like that, just cash. So it's as efficient as possible, as cheap as possible, no interest. And we're gonna buy this second car for around 6,000. It's a lot to choose from for 6,000. So 3,000 pounds. I will have it back with savings a year 700 in 4.5 years. So probably as long as this car we're gonna have. That's roughly how we have cars, around 4 or 5 years, and then we replace them with another cheap used car that has to be efficient, and yeah, and for cash like always. So yeah, that's the plan. I hope that helps someone, and subscribe, like, comment, whatever, start discussion in comments. I would like to know your opinion about this and how you think about all of that. Thanks.